What up, everybody? This is Dario Hunt from Living Life Fearless, and I'm back with my reaction to Arrival. Now, when I first saw the trailers for Arrival, I thought it was interesting and that it was my type of movie in the way that most sci-fi extraterrestrial movies are. But it didn't necessarily blow me away. In fact, it looked kind of generic. But when I started seeing all the critical buzz it was getting and its eventual nomination for Best Picture, I was genuinely surprised and I had to go see what all the fuss was about. The basic plot for the movie is fairly simple and typical of a lot of movies in this genre. Alien ships appear out of nowhere and everybody's freaking out trying to figure out whether they came in peace or came looking for war. But they do add their own unique touch to the movie by focusing on the actual process of deciphering and understanding the alien language, with the end game being to ask them why they're here. This made for one of the more cerebral sci-fi movies I've ever seen. It's generally a slow-going affair without much in the way of action or high energy, but that's not to say that it's plotting. It's very deliberate in its pacing and puts the focus almost entirely on Amy Adams' interactions with the aliens. For such a massive global event, the movie manages to feel very intimate and grounded. And it's probably the best approximation of how things would actually play out if we ever did get visited by alien life. I generally liked the story and I thought they did a great job with letting scenes breathe. But with that said, I did think that the central mystery would have a much bigger payoff than it ultimately did. The whole movie is almost entirely set in one location and in close quarters, but some great cinematography and special effects helped to keep things from getting too stale. And there were some great shots of the ships looming against the skyline. The whole cast of characters basically boiling down to three central characters: Luis, Amy Adams, Ian, Jeremy Renner, and Colonel Weber, Forrest Whitaker. Forrest by far plays the smallest part in the movie, and I wish he had a few more scenes and was given a little bit more to do. And Jeremy is only slightly more involved in that. They both serve as straight up support to Amy Adams' Luis, who is the driving force behind the movie. Now, this wouldn't have worked so well if it wasn't for Amy Adams' excellent performance. She really delivered and kept me engaged even after I pieced together the mystery. Now, I'm about to head into full-on spoiler territory, so if you don't want things ruined for you, I suggest you leave this video. I'll give you about 5 seconds to do so. Alright, the big central question to the whole movie was, why are they here? And ultimately, it just came down to being, they wanted to give us a tool. They wanted to do this in the hope that we would return the favor 1,000 years from now when they would need our help. And what that tool turned out to be was actually their language, which we spent the whole movie deciphering. Now, here's where things got a little bit wonky though. Their language was so important because once we deciphered it, we would be able to understand time in the way that they do. They view time in a non-linear manner where past, present, and future are all happening at the same time. So for them, there is no beginning and end, which much like their language, there is no beginning and end, as their language is in a circle and it doesn't matter where you start, it just all conveys the message. I don't know. Whenever you start getting into time in movies, no matter how smart the writers might be, things always get a little weird and don't always connect properly. But I think they did a fairly good job of explaining things and hinting at things throughout the movie. For example, Louise kept having visions about her life in the future, and we were led to assume initially that it was from the past, but in actuality it was something that was going to happen in the future, and she was just seeing it now as she was deciphering their language and understanding time in the manner that they do. My only real question is, why is she the only one having these visions? Because as they alluded to in the movie, there are other countries deciphering the language as well, so why aren't they having this same type of epiphany? There was also a deeper meaning at the center of the movie about language uniting all of humanity, as it was ultimately this universal language that forced us to come together. Have you seen Arrival? What did you think about it? Did you think it was deserving of a Best Picture nomination? Let me know in the comments below, and be sure to head over to Living Life Fearless and leave your rating for the movie.